Behind the Counter is sponsored by
GoDaddy.com. Sign up for a new account and get your domain name for only $2.49 by using promo code Queens at checkout.
All right, hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Behind the Counter. I got it right on the first try. I'm Rich Stambolin, your host, and with me as always is D'Lo Brown stunt double, Jonathan Adler. What's going on?
I heard you were really bad.
I love it.
No longer working.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
This is good. I feel like that would cause prolonged exposure to D'Lo Brown's neck would cause an injury.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's therapeutic. Like one doctor says, you know what? How to keep your neck in really good shape. Just shake it all day long.
I think
Shake it.
maybe that's the idea that Austin had when he came to there. He's like, I got a great idea. I'm going to steal it from that black guy, D'Lo Brown.
Before I came here, I was watching, I think it's Hard Knocks on HBO about the preseason in football.
Yeah.
And it's about the Bengal Tigers this year. They're really good. Even if you're not in football, it's really awesome. And this one dude is getting like incredible amount of acupuncture. And he's like, my doctor said this is pretty good for me. So I went to the acupuncturist, and I go like almost every single day. But when I first went there, I asked like whoever had the most needles in them, and like Curtis Martin, like how many needles he got? Like 284. He's like, I want that. And so now he gets 300 needles to beat Curtis Martin.
So ridiculous.
I don't know why I thought about that.
It's a good little factoid. I like it.
And also the acupuncturist said like it's really hard to put needles in because he's so thick.
It's got thick skin, like a rhino, like a rhinoceros. Welcome to the Weird Weekly Show dedicated to pop culture, comic books, mostly comic books, movie trivia, and Trivial Pursuit.
And Breaking Bad.
And
Game of Thrones in next season.
Exactly. And starting September 10th, possibly a little Sons of Anarchy talk.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget that it comes back. Like, I was flipping through the channels today, and it was just like...
You saw the trailers for it?
Oh, Sons of Anarchy's back.
You see any, like the new trailers?
No, I didn't see anything.
Lots of Donald Logue, which is so good.
Beautiful. It left you last season like you wanted more Donald Logue in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, they just started looking at the last 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah. And I really want him to show up as I want Rob Perlman to show up as Hellboy in one episode and just to ride a motorcycle for 2 seconds.
We can get
That's it. Like, I want Tig to look at him
and just envision him as
and
Hellboy.
he's like, oh man,
you look like Hellboy.
If they can get it. Kurt Sutter, man. That's good. I think this is it. This is going to be the last season.
I was telling you, no, two more, including this one.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Maybe too much.
I know. No, I think it's way too much. I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, oh, you would really like, The Shield. The Shield was like, a really great show. She's like, wasn't it like a family show? I go, no. And then like, I had to explain the whole Acevedo like blowjob.
Oh man, yeah.
And she's like, you watch this show?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's good.
It's great. It's really good. I think all you need for that show is that first episode where
that's a great
pilot. They shoot the cop at the end, like the other cop shoot the other cop.
Such a good pilot.
It really
is
such
a great setup.
Because you get what you're getting for the next 7 seasons of Mackie ran through a wall in that first episode.
Yeah,
he busted through a fence.
That was a season. And also just on that show, it was just so good because you felt like the deck was stacked against him for the first 2 seasons,
right? And
then he introduced like Glenn Close and Forrest Whitaker, and they just kill it.
Yeah, awesome.
She was incredible, like on that show. Forrest Whitaker was probably the best element of the person
that season.
Show.
Yeah,
but like Glenn Close was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. She was ridiculous, and
teach me how to get meaner.
and Mackie gets so in there, man. And like one of the greatest characters of all time. Yeah. I always I know you're a fan of Orange is the New Black when they come back for season 2. My vote for it, and I want to make like I want to go to Silver Cup in Astoria. I think that's where they shoot.
Yeah, it is.
And have signs that just say "Give me Goggins."
He'd be great on that show,
right?
Well, because I feel like what's his name could what's her name
Mendez.
No, the meth chick.
Black Cindy?
No, the meth chick.
Oh,
what? No. The
Manning. Tara Manning.
Yeah, Tara Manning. Her character on it. Yeah. Oh, you started watching it too, Andrew?
Oh, I watched all of it. It's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like her. You could do like a Justified storyline. What the hell's your problem, dude?
I don't know. There's something wrong with him today.
I keep seeing ghosts. Dog ghost.
Cosby ghost.
He's the man whisperer, not the dog whisperer. Go ahead. Tara Manning.
Yeah, I think they could do like a Justified storyline with like her past is actually she comes from like Goggins and the meth storyline.
Oh my god, yeah, Goggins would be a great addition to that show.
He'd be fantastic.
He's a great addition to everything, and even when he showed up on on Sons of Anarchy as the tranny,
hot tranny. I thought Goggins would be a hot tranny. He was just in something else that he was really awesome in. He's like
G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yeah, yeah, he was awesome in that. Guys, he is a true method actor. Number one, he is a true method actor.
He's the new he's the new Brian Dennehy.
They need to I hopefully. I mean, I can't believe you're not up to speed with Justified.
Oh, it's so bad.
But I feel like he needs to get an Emmy for this because it really is like his role in The Shield was really good and it made you discover the character. He was great in Django.
Oh yeah.
But like him on Justified is just like the performance of a lifetime for that guy.
Oh yeah, yeah. The end of that first season of Justified when he gets released from jail and he's walking, and you hear like the Otis Taylor song, like 10 Million Slaves, and he's going to the car and like Raylan is right there. Oh, one of the best scenes of like TV.
It gets better, man.
Yeah.
Stick around with it, man.
I'm at the end of season 2 actually. I know there's like 4 seasons at this point.
Yeah, the last season was my favorite one.
Insane.
Yeah,
I can't believe I just totally missed out on
5 now.
I have them all on my computer.
You gotta watch it.
Let's talk comics, man. What's up? Give me some news.
Let's talk about news. Oh boy, Breaking Bad. I enjoyed that.
Breaking Bad was awesome. What did you like about it?
What I like about it, I think it was excellent just for the high tension factor with Sky. I thought that was a really, really awesome thing. I like the fact that they're making Hank like his intentions are really good. Like I want to protect these people,
right?
But he's also completely consumed about over this. And I'm glad they addressed it right away that this dude is his career is completely over after this.
Right.
Yeah,
because he's so close to the.
He took money.
Yeah,
he took money. How do you convince a grand jury that you're that?
Wait a minute, I haven't seen this season yet. So tell me exactly what happened.
Are we?
Because I like spoilers.
You forgot to check Wikipedia?
Did you watch the first half of the season?
I watched. Yeah.
Where it ended with Hank.
Figuring it out.
So the first episode was like a slow burn of
It did the whole future thing again.
They did the future thing again where he shows up to the house of Pat the Ricin.
Yeah.
And then he eventually ends up in the garage with Hank, and they both
in the future.
Each other. No, now.
Oh, currently.
Yeah. Right now, and he gets knocked out by Hank, and basically the feud starts. In this episode, it starts right afterwards, and they show they're both racing to call Sky, and Hank gets to Sky first, and sits her down and starts interrogating her. But it's it's okay, and it's gonna happen. But talk in this microphone real quick before we call anybody. It's don't get a lawyer. You shouldn't get a lawyer in this situation.
Just talk to me. Talk to me.
He gets all the money. He buries it. He buries it in the desert.
Walter gets all the money.
Walter gets all the money.
He buries it in the desert. Marie tries to take the baby away from Sky. Forcibly, she gets slapped in the face. Marie slaps Sky in the face, and Todd, the guy that killed the little kid on the bike.
Yeah,
him and his family are basically taking over all the meth stuff right now.
Yeah, and Huel sits on a big pile of money.
That's probably the best part of it.
Did you notice that? The jacket he's wearing.
It's the same one that.
Yeah, it's the same one that I thought it was Jesse's jacket. It's not. Yeah. It's his jacket.
Yeah, because the whole thing with Walt is that he takes a souvenir from everyone he kills, Crazy 8. He killed Crazy 8 in the first season
and started cutting the bread
off of it, and then Gus, he got the whole persona down, the hard man.
So now that Hank knows, what is Hank doing to get Walter?
He doesn't know.
Is he at a crossroads? He doesn't know what to do.
He's trying to get Sky to talk because he needs more information. He does because he knows that the only way he's going to go to the department is if he has everything signed, sealed, delivered. But the episode ends because the first episode ends with Jesse throwing his $4 million in the middle of a ghetto.
Yeah. Right.
And this one opens up with him getting caught, and he's in jail. He's in an interrogation room, and Hank shows up. And he's going to talk to him.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
So how do you think it's going to end?
Murder.
I think Hank's going to kill himself.
With the ricin.
No, I think he's like shooting I think he's gonna blow his brains out.
What is he doing with the ricin?
I think it's for himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's gonna take himself out. I think he's gonna go down a blazing glory with whatever happens.
Like a Scarface style.
I think the biggest mystery is probably gonna be Jesse. I think I really don't have any idea what they're gonna do with him.
I think Jesse goes free and blows his brains out.
I hope he doesn't die. I hope he'd be the one person that walks.
I think everybody's dying, and I think Walter's going to be alone.
How about the
and
son?
The cancer's going to come back.
He's gonna have breakfast. He's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wants breakfast.
He hasn't shown up yet.
I was saying this.
I hate him.
I love him. I had no idea where he was for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Got big.
I think he went to college. I think that's the story.
Is he like that in real life, or is he like a normal dude?
He does to a certain degree. He accentuates it for the show.
Yeah.
He got past all this
Because he's very good at it.
He's awesome. They're all great.
It's a good show.
I just got into it. I saw the first episode years ago, and I hated it. I was like, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, but it goes into
after watching 3 of them, I'm like, holy crap, this is great.
It becomes such a vastly different show than when it starts, and that's the beauty of it.
Did you want to cook your own meth after you saw the first episode?
I did.
It's so disgusting.
So dirty.
What about you?
No, that if nothing, that show has really
ruined meth for you.
The meth in his
I know you were really into meth.
I was like, it's so yellow. A guy who I knew that was in recovery, he was a big meth guy, and he'd say that from doing it all the time, your pee was completely radioactive.
Yeah,
it would glow, and your poop would basically look like pancake syrup, the same color too.
All right,
it was nice.
It's an easy cleanup.
Yeah.
So you think at the end he's going to kill himself, and that's
well, I mean, a part of the show is like that he really wants to. That Vince Gilligan, the creator, he really likes the idea of karma, like really coming back in a big way, and that dude has a lot of karma. I think the next episode he's gonna find out that Jesse's gonna find out about Jane.
Oh, what happened with Jane?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna find out.
How would he find out though?
I think Walt's gonna tell him. I think whatever Hank tells him in that room is going to be big on the terms of the relationship.
I agree. And what do you got? This is only an 8-episode season, right?
So there's 6 more left.
6 more, yeah.
Love it.
So good.
And that's it.
That's
done.
That's it.
And then Walking Dead comes back.
And then we got what's his name show?
Sons of Anarchy.
The spinoff.
That's not going to happen.
What's that? Saul.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Have you seen his website?
That's going to happen.
Have you seen the Saul website?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's going to happen.
I want David Cross on it, big time.
I think so. I think it'll happen.
I forgot what I was watching, and they both showed up on something. I think it was that show on IFC. I lost
Todd
it.
Margaret?
No, not Todd Margaret. With the
yes,
we know what I'm talking. The fake talk show.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Comedy Bang Bang. I think they showed up. I think Cross showed up on Comedy Bang Bang, and then Odenkirk showed up as inseparable. One of my favorite comedy duos of all time.
I think Odenkirk is going to be on the Talking Bad thing pretty soon, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Because they drown out Hardwick.
Good.
And it's been, this episode was Sky and Jesse were doing it, so they just spoke the whole way. This week is Samuel Jackson.
I'm a big fan of the show. I'm Nick Fury. All right.
Comic books.
Let's get down to brass tacks here.
Brass tacks.
Talk to me about comics. Talk to me about comic book news.
Ew.
Talk to me about Walter White, the comic #1.
So, I would love it.
Written by Scott Snyder.
There's actually a pretty good prequel comic that's on their website right now.
Really?
Okay, so there's movies coming out that are very important to the Marvel Universe.
Hit it.
2 of them being Avengers 2, Age of Ultron,
right,
and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much signed, sealed, delivered. Elizabeth Olsen, the better Olsen sister, is going to play the Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
I'm excited about that. Quicksilver is Quicksilver. Quicksilver is playing Quicksilver.
Sweet.
Quicksilver is being played by Kick-Ass, which I just realized.
All right.
That guy got...
He's very difficult, Quicksilver, to put in a movie.
Yeah, I don't picture that guy at all.
I run fast.
That guy's jacked now.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too big for Kick-Ass too.
Yeah. I did it come out yet? Kick-Ass 2? Did you see it?
No. I gotta see Wolverine. I feel like I can't see Kick-Ass without seeing Wolverine.
I agree with that. I still got to see Elysium, or Elysium, as some people say. I am really looking forward to the Guardians movie. I'm really looking forward to obviously Age of Ultron, but they did release another little bit about Ant-Man today, where Hank Pym will be in the canon of Avengers.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Edgar Wright said that if Ultron was included into the thing, it would screw up what he's doing for Ant-Man.
Right.
I would be highly disappointed if there's no way they have any Hank Pym.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta make this happen.
I think they're gonna work it in where that he's been there the whole time and nobody really knew.
He didn't know. He never noticed.
Yeah.
They also announced today that more than likely Bradley Cooper is going to be Rocket Raccoon.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. I always want that dude to be in hero movies.
Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel as Groot. Pretty good. I don't know. I just don't know who Lee Pace is going to be playing yet.
Okay.
Because Nebula is going to be one of the bad guys. Benicio del Toro is probably playing the Collector, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Lee Pace. So
Thanos.
Yeah.
I think Thanos is going to make a presence in the Guardians.
Yeah,
movie.
dude, they're doing Nebula there.
I also feel like there's a lot like as a fan, there's a lot riding on the Guardians of the Galaxy movie for me, because this could be like one of the Marvel lulls, like where like you had your Spider-Man franchise, and then you had Daredevil, which was like another Marvel movie, like a big Marvel movie. And then you had Elektra, which was god awful. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid that this might be the god awful. I know it's a different time.
It's a different time.
I know it's a very different time.
There's a better understanding of the industry. Plus, plus Josh Whedon is not going to let Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a piece of poop.
Yeah.
Put it out.
You never know, man. Look at Green Lantern.
That's a different universe also.
I know it's a different universe, but it's the same kind of like, listen, this is Dark Knight. This is a new face at DC. Dark Knight was incredible. Let's do this. This movie stinks.
But look at the track record of what Marvel is right now in the last few years since Iron Man 1 to what DC had, and they had only Batmans. 2
examples that are sore thumbs in the Marvel movie universe. 4, 5, 6, if not more. X-Men 3.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider 1 and 2.
Those are Fox properties.
Fantastic Four 1 and 2.
Fox properties.
I know they're all Fox properties.
That's like saying Spider-Man 1 through 3 are also, sore thumbs as well.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Marvel as the Marvel movie making machine now. Like I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. I'm looking forward to Days of Future Past for whatever reason. Do I think they're going to be great movies? Probably not.
Okay.
But I expect a certain type of quality throughout
the Marvel canon Marvel movies.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy does have the highest chance of being
the crappy one.
Yeah, but because it's something I never thought would be made. Like
right.
If I was gonna had 10 movies to make in the Marvel, it wouldn't. Me being a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I still probably wouldn't choose that one.
What would be your go-to?
Daredevil.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
A Rockin' Wolverine movie.
Okay.
I would do
outside
of
like,
what we see right now
of Marvel Avengers canon movies. Like, what would your something maybe that hasn't been done before? What would you like to see?
Iron Fist.
Okay.
Definitely Daredevil. Daredevil. I mean, there's a great Daredevil movie waiting to happen.
I think so.
Who else?
You know what I want? I want the Godfather Part 1, but with Daredevil in it, on the streets of New York.
I'll do that. What else would you say to see?
I agree with you on Iron Fist. I'd like a good Punisher.
I would love a great Punisher movie. That I just can't understand, like how you cannot make a great Punisher movie. Mm-hmm. Like it's so simple. It's a guy with guns,
right?
And there's been so many good movies about guys with guns,
exactly,
with like a killing streak. Let's do it.
But they gotta jump it up and like kind of gum up the works a little bit.
I think there's a great Uncanny X-Force movie waiting to happen.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna happen though. I would love to see Luke Cage Iron Fist movie. I would love to see. I don't want to see a Ghost Rider movie anymore. I never want to see that.
Listen, the appeal of a guy on a motorcycle with a flaming skull is pretty
so universal.
It is pretty universal. You pitch that movie to anybody. You can pitch that guy to the most Eskimo up north, and he'll say, "Yes, I would love to see what's a motorcycle?
What's a motorcycle?
I want to see it. I love it."
I don't know. I mean, I think they have a good grasp of what of good properties.
What about Moon Knight?
I would love to see a Moon Knight movie. I think like Moon Knight could work in the same way that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is working.
Okay.
That's like, you can do like what they did, what Bendis did with having like the weirdo LA, characters rolling around. Like I would love to see something like that.
All right.
Like the Brothers Grimm and Gravedigger.
I'd like a good standalone Hawkeye movie where he's in costume.
See, I love the Hawkeye costume.
Yeah.
I don't fully believe that Hawkeye costume could work in real life.
Okay, why not?
Because it's crazy. It's a completely crazy looking costume.
Okay.
But I think we can do better than sunglasses, and a Under Armour shirt.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
I
agree
feel
with that.
a lot better.
I completely agree with that. Would you like this? Is something that like I think should be done at this point. And I haven't seen the new Wolverine movie because it's supposed to take place after X3. And
you know what surprise this movie is?
What?
No, I'm asking you. Like, did you ever like read the spoilers and know what the surprise is?
No, not at all.
Me neither. I just remember like
That's surprising. I think it's usually.
I usually like when like Avengers is coming, I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta read.
I think it's. I would love to see that guy in the mask.
Yeah, I like to see that. I like to see him in the mask. I would look. I think it's made for a movie. I'd love to see like Old Man Logan.
Yes.
I don't think it's a fantastic storyline, but there's so many good visuals and little touchstones you can play with.
Right.
And like, who doesn't love old Wolverine?
Yeah, especially since like, see, that would be a good Avengers kind of tie-in thing because most of the cast is
they gotta break down
Avengers tie-in.
They gotta break down these walls, man.
Yeah, listen, when back in the day you had studios vying for the rights for these characters, it would be nice if everything was under one roof. You know, I think eventually that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get your 2020 Spider-Man relaunch, and you're gonna have like Captain America in it.
I don't think they're gonna ever relaunch it. I think there would be some type of joint contract where they're both making a ton of money off this thing.
Okay.
Sony said that as long as this one studio head's there, and they can still get a bunch of millions off this thing, they'll do it.
Oh, they'll like you can make the worst Spider-Man movie on earth, and then follow it up 3 years later with an even worse Spider-Man movie, and you'll still make $1 million.
Yeah.
More than $1 million.
And they're not terribly hard to. I mean, Mark Webb is keeping them pretty budget-wise,
right?
For the most part.
Yeah, insane. What else? What else was the other bit that
that was it?
we wanted to talk about? Tom Brevoort.
Let's see. So Tom Brevoort or Brevoort was saying how. Hold on, let me put my news story up. He was saying how someone asked him basically if you could get 5 writers currently at DC, who would you get to write for Marvel, and what would you want them to write? He basically kind of blew it up and said like, oh, I wouldn't tell you because that's showing my hand. What 5 do you think it is? Bleeding Cool listed as Scott Snyder, Brian Azzarello, Gail Simone, Tom Taylor, and Jeff Lemire.
I don't think Scott Snyder is going to leave just yet because he's doing
his career's
there. Batman, bro.
Yeah,
he's the best Batman in years.
Yeah.
Great follow up to Morrison.
You
stuff.
don't leave Batman.
Azzarello I could see, but like what could you picture Azzarello writing in? I'd like to see him take over. Like if it was like just pure fanboy wishing, I'd love to see him take over X-Men after Brian Wood.
Yeah. I think it would be a good book. I think he can do it. I wouldn't just say it's a dream project.
Okay.
I would personally ask him what he would like to do because like I think that dude, if they let him run, ramp it a little bit and do something like Dr. 13 with the Marvel Universe characters, play with some B levels, play with something that he really has an interest in.
You're gonna get Dominic Fortune.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Dominic Fortune. I'm okay with a good Punisher story from him. I don't know if he likes to do the gritty stuff anymore.
Right.
Because you reading Brother Lono?
Yeah.
It's all right, but it's like you've seen everything you could possibly see out of 100 Bullets. I like him do a Daredevil, but I love Mark Waid's stuff.
Yeah, which is such a departure from like you kind of don't want to go back to the dark stuff for at least another couple of years.
And then his Wonder Woman stuff is like leaps and bounds what I would expect from him.
Right.
But it's so tight.
Right.
Like that's one of the best books that DC has on the market. I don't know, man. I would love to see him come over there. I would love to see Jeff Lemire. I'd love to see Matt Kent.
What book would you give to Lemire?
Anything Dan wants. I would stick him on an X-Men book, definitely.
Cable and X-Force.
Yeah, I think he would be a good mind to save like the X-Force, the double X-Force property.
Yeah.
Would you stick him on Cable and X-Force?
I'd stick him on Cable and X-Force. I feel like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I would like a written and drawn Cable series with just Lemire doing the art. And I just feel like he'll knock it out of the park.
Yeah, I think he'd do well with something like that. I would love to see him do like a New Warriors book, which is apparently a thing now.
Yeah.
We're getting new Warriors books.
With Night Thrasher?
Yeah,
cool.
Hopefully.
All right. I know, again, you're big fans of the New Warriors.
I love the New Warriors, man. It's a great friggin' book.
It's a great concept. I was never a fan.
The book. If you read it for a while, like they did some really cool stuff with it, some really cool surprises, and they did that awesome Sphinx storyline where they turned every superhero into an Egyptian, which is really cool.
See what I like is that this was 90s Marvel which was very at the time like almost throwaway for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, it was Mark Bailey doing really awesome books.
But you have the retrospect on that in the past like 10 years with like a book like The Runaways or I totally forgot the name of the book with like with Darkhawk.
Oh, I was just reading about it. I just found a little copy of this.
It's like all the young heroes talking about like
it's originally called Excelsior and they changed the names to something else.
Right. Yeah. And they had, like they're going to therapy and they're talking about how, they were like being teen superheroes kind of messed them up. Like, see, if you didn't have like that filler in the 90s, you wouldn't get something awesome like that.
They brought up in Spidey this week.
Yeah.
Because of Phil York, Green Goblin.
Right. Yeah. Which was kind of interesting too. I really like that issue, by the way.
I thought it's great. I like what they've been doing with Phil York over the last few years, and I still think this guy is Harry, the Goblin King.
Not Norman.
No.
All right, I'll agree. I'll go with that.
Especially because what's it called is back too, Menace. I totally forgot about.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting because you're gonna get like a big goblin explosion in Spider-Man at that point, and also you're getting kind of like his Carly Cooper saying that it's not this is definitely not Peter Parker.
Yeah, and well, Mary Jane's the one that brought it up with her too.
Yeah.
I have no idea where they're going with this storyline.
Yeah,
because right after this is the Spider-Man 2099 stuff.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Weird.
But Slott can go forward and come back.
Yeah.
Well, like he's very good at that. And he did that with the Spider Island stuff.
It's Superior Spider-Man is consistently my number one read when it does come out.
Okay.
I think it's a solid book. I am a sucker for this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Otto Doc is fantastic.
Otto Doc.
Otto Doc.
Was he the 10th member of Wu-Tang?
Yes. Otto Doc. Auto Doc.
I really dug it. It's definitely like it made it to the top of the stack. This week the top 3 were, I feel like, the books that we're going to talk about. Your Avengers, the Infinity crossover, Daredevil, which was an awesome standalone issue, and I gave it to the fiance last night to read, and she went 5 pages in and was like, "This is boring."
Well, I mean, it's not for her. It's for us.
I know.
That's a reward for someone like, how would you make a Daredevil Silver Surfer story,
yes,
work?
Yeah.
And they've done it in the past, and they did that back in the Ditko era.
Yeah.
But it really, really worked.
And Superman Unchained, which I really kind of want to talk at length about.
Okay. Okay with that.
Simply because like it's not my pick of the week for a book.
No way.
You had your first 2 issues, which were kind of like, for me, as a fan, they set up something kind of cool. It made you look forward to it, because like Action and your regular Superman book, like I dropped, after Grant Morrison left. And
so this is like the only Superman book you're really
reading. This is the only Superman book I'm reading. And Superman Batman, which I really like, the Greg Pak and Jay Lee stuff. But I feel like that's not in canon. It's almost like an Elseworlds kind of story. So Superman Unchained is in canon. It's Scott Snyder and Jim Lee, and it really kind of and this is not a knock on Snyder, but it may be a little bit of a knock on Jim Lee. It feels on this 3rd issue, it feels very much like the 3rd issue of Azzarello's Superman, because it's just like that
same shit.
And I know there's a lot of Jim Lee fans out there, which fine, you can like whoever you want, but for me, I'm not saying I'm like the most discerning guy, but I know what I like, and I also feel like I know when somebody's kind of phoning it in, and it's we always call this. It's like the guy is on a book and he'll bang out 2 amazing visual issues,
first issue, and usually maybe the last one, and
the 3rd, 4th, 5th issue are like, come on, dude. And this was like evident of that. Like, it's like the same poses that he's been using for years, the same stuff. And then you have your backup, which is friggin' beautiful, and like, that's what I want out of my current art,
the best thing about it is the Lex Luthor thing.
Right. Yeah.
With like the body inside of like the alien power loader thing.
Right. I think that's awesome. It's strange how it went from like, you got your hopes up about that other character.
Yeah, because like I think we wanted it to be somebody that already has been established.
Right.
Hopefully, like the entrance to like the JSA world.
Right.
And then you totally didn't get that, and it turns out to be a really uninteresting character.
Right.
Who is like, I don't know if it's an artistic choice or it's a part of the story where he's actually changing throughout the whole. Like, he's getting more in focus, and like you said the same thing, and I said the same thing.
Yeah.
And by like the end of the issue, like, oh, like Jim Lee decided to draw him like at the end, like Doomsday.
Yeah, it's gonna be like it's like that's where and like you're as fans we're not supposed to jump the gun, we're not supposed to yell at people and be like, what did you do? What did you do?
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's going towards that Doomsday route, especially with the last line of like, I'm glad you're on my side right now because I'm gonna have to kill you in the future. And Superman's like, the issue ends with Superman being what?
And also like I mean we love Azzarello.
Yeah.
We had high expectations for the Superman run. You got like the military guy, and you got like the unstoppable and killing machine, which is the same thing with the General Lane Wraith thing in this.
Yeah. And
like
don't like the fact that the guy's named Wraith.
Stupid name. It's been used so many times.
Exactly.
And what was the explanation for it? It stood for like William Randolph's Ace in the Hole.
Yeah. Fine. That's fine. But I think there's a million characters named Wraith out there.
Yeah.
I think in Superior Spider-Man wasn't.
That's right. Yes, it is Wraith.
Yeah,
or was it Wrath?
I think it was Wraith. I'm pretty. Let's say, for argument's sake, let's say it was Wraith.
Yeah. I'm sure in every little franchise there is a Wraith.
I really don't want to knock on the book, and I don't want to knock on anybody's creative direction, but I will knock on the fact that
Jim Lee book, man.
That Jim Lee has made the same comic for 20 friggin' years.
Yeah, man, it's a really easy thing. And I'm not an artist. I can't tell you what to do, but there is like a certain layout, paneling, character design that is not so much a style, but it just comes across as repetition. It's one thing for like a Mike Allred to design like 100 people with lightning bolts and floppy hair that looks like him.
Right.
That's like legitimately his, Ed House style. Jim Lee, it just basically looks like he's got like a big wall of like stickies.
Poses.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is going to be the Superman with the one leg up.
This is Spartan. And this is Batman.
There's Spartan, and there's this, and then there's a midget, and it just really blasé. And I liked the first two issues. It was intriguing.
Exactly.
It was like
look great.
I'm like, all right, I'm like Scott Snyder, dude. Like Scott Snyder is the man. Like I know he's hungry for a Superman storyline, but you're not gonna get that until Jim Lee's off this book.
Right.
Hopefully he's off at 6.
I think 4.
Do you think 4?
I say 4. I say Lee's off at 4. I don't think he's gonna make it to 6 on this. And in my head, I always feel like it's not even that he's lazy. It's just that the guy has a lot to do. Guys have a whole lot to do, and he'll be like, "Listen, guys, get Travis Charest. I got to get on a plane somewhere."
Yeah, and he's also fine. That's great. I like Travis better than like him.
Right.
But he's also this guy makes a fortune over his commissions.
Oh yeah.
So like that's where the guy he's spending more of his time doing stuff and then selling the original pages for this crap.
Right.
But like what bothers me more than anything, because it's one thing if this was like, I don't know, a different writer that wasn't Scott Snyder. Jim Lee, when he does a project, you could tell he gets into the ear of the writer.
Right.
Plus, he's the higher ranking official in this story.
Right.
This guy is one of the owners of the company at this point. So, you saw it in the Azrael thing. You see where he can kind of steamroll over. You can even see some of it in Hush, which is touted as like one of the great Jim Lee things. I don't agree. You don't agree. But people love it. But that is a very Jim Lee way of happening. I guarantee you by 4 or 5, you have a Batman appearance.
Okay.
Kryptonite ring.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you whatever reveal with Wraith is or whatever his story is, it's going to be really boring.
That's the thing. Like when you have, back in the day, it was like you want to see Jim Lee draw X-Men, but now it's come so far away from that where you want to see that instead of like, I want to see this dude draw Wolverine all day, I want to see this guy draw Batman. And he's done, when he was on Batman, it wasn't so much the issues that were artistically amazing. It was all the promo and side stuff that he did that was so visually stunning.
Yeah.
The guy earned his money for that stuff. But when you get into a monthly comic, like, it's hard, man. Like I love like Jim Lee issue number 1s because you're like, this is why I like the guy. This is great. And then as it gets on, it's so inconsistent where, it's like he's aping his old stuff over and over again. You
know what it was about Jim Lee that I think is a rare occurrence is that when he came about in during X-Men, it was like Silvestri, it was and then later Bacalo.
Right.
We were used to a certain very clean way of drawing the X-Men.
Right.
That was the visual way that we like Wolverine was the one rough one, and this guy. When Jim Lee very quietly entered into the ring, it was the first time we saw the redesigns.
Right.
You saw them turn into like the girls turn into like fully supermodels and the whole nine.
They're babes.
Yeah, and like I think it's just like. your brain gets rewritten to like, wow, this is the way that I should be seeing X-Men. Right. You saw Mark Silvestri come in, and then you saw, like,
old Sal LaRocca.
Yeah, old LaRocca, and then you see like, like my personal favorite, Bacalo, who is like, is the most abstract of the most popular guys out there.
And Portasio, I think you could throw in the abstract
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
He was awesome too. But like I remember, like I went back and I looked at a bunch of the old Jim Lee stuff. Like there's nothing particularly memorable about the storylines he did. He drew an awesome Wolverine. He drew an awesome Professor X.
Gambit.
He made Professor X and Gambit look fantastic.
Yeah.
But Silvestri, like you go back and read his stuff when like they were in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Like that stuff was fantastic. And he was doing some really unusual stuff with the characters, like experimenting with like like facial structures and stuff. And same thing with Portasio and everything. But Jim Lee, I just never got him. Like even when I was a fanboy and I was dedicated to Image, I was like, all right, like I'm already invested in Eric Larson. Hell yeah.
Right.
Tom McFarlane, like yeah, we know it. Like we're in it. I love Valentino because of Guardians of the Galaxy. Sam Keith, like the guy was like, there's nothing on the market like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Jim Lee, and I'm like, I don't really care about your characters.
Well, you skipped over Rob Liefeld. I want to hear your thoughts on Rob Liefeld.
I mean, I was super into Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, everybody was.
I mean, like everyone bought Youngblood. Yeah. And I was super into it. I'm like, oh my God, it's so mysterious.
And everybody bought X-Force too before that.
Hell yeah, yeah. I remember I bought New Mutants number
98.
I think
first Cable.
I think it was 98. And I think I got like 98, 99 around the same time. And I was like, what is this?
Actually, no, not 98 was first Deadpool. I think 87 was first Cable.
Deadpool, Gideon, and then I think 96 or 97 was Cable. But I didn't read that first. I got the Cable issue afterwards. Because when I read it, I'm like, who's this old dude with like a punk outfit on and a cybernetic arm? And it looked like nothing else out there. And it was a book that you would not expect to have this type of art. And it was so crazy. So immediately I was like,
90s, bro.
Well, I was thinking about the other day that Mutants and X-Men were so awesome because they were so friggin' rock and roll.
Right.
They were like they screwed each other. They were weren't as perfect as Captain America, and they look crazy.
I think you can still say the same thing about the X-Men.
I think to a certain degree
they're a little subdued at this point and more
become more militant. They become more militant, or they become more on the the like what they're doing on Wolverine and X-Men. And what they're doing on Uncanny X-Men and All New X-Men is vastly different than Australia era X-Men.
Savage Land X-Men. Yeah.
That's a very, very different world.
Yeah.
That I think I don't think we'll ever get there. And I think once we get past into like the Quentin Quire stuff.
Boom, boom. Yeah.
Once you get to like boom, boom, Quentin Quire, like the next generation, I think we'll see more of that punk rock stuff.
Yeah. I feel like the way Bendis is writing Cyclops is extremely like a punk rock militant Cyclops.
Oh hell yeah!
I love that. We talk about it all the time. I love that version of Cyclops that he writes. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Like when I was a kid, it was like you get your comics that were drawn by X, Y, and Z, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, the 90s are here. Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson. Here's like Eric Larson's Spidey stuff is some of my favorite. When they did
the cyborg,
well, when he broke his arm and he needed like the cyber arm and
Super Patriot stuff.
Super Patriot stuff. He was like the Sinister Six fighting, and it was like after the McFarlane run.
Yeah, he did he was the first one to do Octopus in the white suit thing. It was awesome.
Yeah. And like all the other dudes like knocked it out of the park, and then you still had guys like the Kuberts, rocking and rolling. I think at that point,
and that's when you got Generation X with Bacalo, killing it with his designs.
Awesome stuff. And they all went to Image, and you got like the same. Like that's when the first Jim Lee stuff started happening, where it was like first 7 issues, and then that's it.
No, I was looking. I'm getting rid of all my comics right now, so I'm going through a bunch of stuff that dude, when we were in the store, we read. There were so many more chancy books out there.
Yeah.
Like what they're doing with Image, or doing with like DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
The Jim Lee Wildcats #1, beginning of Worldstorm. Grant Morrison and Jim Lee. I think they did the one issue of Wildcats together, and that was it. And that was the only one that came out. And it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, I want this Grant Morrison stuff because it was reminiscent of Wildcats 3.0.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I totally remember that. It's just so weird. Like a lot of that, like there's a lot of start stops that happen.
Especially with Jim Lee.
Yeah. But I like the people that like we go to Comic-Con every year and there's like a line around the block with that dude. You know, I wish somebody, and like maybe they have, I don't really keep up with the forums, but I would love somebody to turn around and be like, what's the deal with no offense or nothing, but what's the deal with you kind of phoning it in as a fan? Like, what's your deal with that?
They take you away and they lock you up after that.
Yeah.
They shoot you in the foot.
He'll be like,
and the foot.
I also feel like he doesn't talk.
No.
Yeah. Just, he waves. He's like,
never a fan.
He's like Sacha Baron Cohen in The Dictator.
I was never a fan of that dude. I can't wait.
I really want this story to be like to pan out and be excellent.
I think as soon as he gets off the book, they're gonna get someone really awesome on that book, and that's gonna blossom.
Yeah. It's like I also feel like the reveal is gonna be something that you don't really know because like you have the other character who's Wraith, who apparently came from another planet,
just like Superman,
and he has a hood.
Or he develops a hood,
which makes me think of there was another dude before the relaunch who Superman was teaming with. I forgot his name. Who kind of looked the same and he had a hood. He was from like a different planet also. I want to say like Axis.
In which?
In Action, I think. Before the pre-relaunch.
I'm sure there's a bunch of dudes. I mean, like, automatically comes to mind is what's his name?
But it always makes you think of Doomsday. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why you'd go with that type of design with him, but I'm not an artist. What do I know?
We also this week, like you had your awesome standalone Daredevil storyline with Silver Surfer, and that's it. You know, you nailed it in a nutshell. I think we really have to go into the fact that like go pick up the single issue of Daredevil because it really worked.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it also, and I mean, even their single issues really do build on the overall, mythos of what's going on with him. It's like the DA now coming to work with him and all that stuff. But it's just, it's so incredible reading the Daredevil stuff now because this is not what I ever. If me reading Brubaker and Bendis and everyone's version of Daredevil and saying like, yes, I want a more smiling Steve Ditko era Daredevil, but it's one of the most rockinest.
It works, man. Ever. It works. I think that book right now is perfect time, perfect place because you had years of really dark crime Daredevil. And a little bit of Ninja Daredevil thrown in there too.
Ninja.
And then you had like The Return, which was kind of like it was like a bit of a flop for me. And the Mark Waid stuff, which has been like, I think he's got a good, I want to say another year of the lighthearted stuff before it should really turn dark again.
I think
he's leading to like a big moment.
But there's been a lot of dark stuff in there. Like the Mole Man storyline was really dark about this, dealing with bones, and like Mole Man was really creepy. And then, like, the Bullseye stuff, I think was pretty dark. Yeah. Like it's I think it's that beautiful mixture of like the comedy, not so much comedy, but the lightheartedness.
Right.
And then because from the issue one, I mean the proposal of the book has always been Foggy talking to Matt Murdock and like why is this guy happy all of a sudden that he's basically this psychopath who's burying his emotions again.
I want all encompassing
misery, just
pounding pressurized misery. Darkness. Throughout the book.
I'm just going to let you know, I'm looking up the solicitations for Superman Unchained, and they've gone up to number 5 so far, and the art is by Jim Lee and Scott Williams.
All right, so...
We're starting.
What did I say, number 4?
Number 4, yeah, you said like number 4. Number 4 is also Jim Lee and Scott Williams.
This is Jim Lee and Scott Williams also.
So we got 6 we got to wait for. I think he'll be off by 6.
Completely off.
Yeah. I mean, but these are solicitations. That could change at any time.
Right.
Because, I mean, it was just so uneven. Uneven guy.
It's an interesting thing. Like, I don't bother to go onto comic book forums to kind of voice my thing because you can't win. You can't win against the internet, and you can't even win on Twitter also because like there's a couple of things where I like gripe a little bit, and then somebody out of nowhere would be like, "Hey, bro, why don't you show your face?"
Yeah.
Like, listen, everybody's
a little bit too much, bro.
Everybody's got an opinion. You don't got to yell at me for mine, even though it's a valid one.
And I think that a lot of guys who do happen to talk on the forums or anything are Jim Lee fans that are not fair weather.
It might just be him.
Could be. Guy's got a lot of money. Guy lives in Italy.
That is true. That's a fact. Do you think it's a rumor or you think that's fact?
I think it's fact. I think his name is also Fabrizio Lee.
Yeah.
Fabrizio.
He was a mafia don who got face surgery.
Make me look like an
That's
Asian.
the story I want.
Make me look like Short Round.
I want to get to, before we wrap it up, I really want to talk about how your post-Bendis Avengers world is one of the greatest sci-fi Marvel stories ever friggin' written so far.
Now, I love it. Like I love all Hickman stuff. Yeah. I think what he's doing in Avengers is friggin' fantastic between Avengers and New Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that some people are getting very frustrated with Avengers.
Okay.
I don't personally get it because I think it's very thick and layered and there's a lot going on with it. I am so happy that we are, because like it was weird because like I like the Bendis stuff,
right?
But after a while, it did become very formulaic.
Yeah.
And you
banter, fight.
Well, even like say so, like I think that really came to fruition, like Secret Invasion, where I loved it, but there was so much of it, and you'd always read it like you'd have the one issue, and then you have the two Avengers books would be like the add on, and which is very much the formula of this storyline of Infinity. So once I read a Scroll storyline, I got like flashbacks, like oh my god, it's happening all over again. But it was really an awesome issue.
Yeah,
and every issue this guy has done has been fantastic. I don't know what his ultimate plans with this. Like,
what's the payoff? Yeah.
But it's so friggin' awesome.
I really enjoyed it. I put it down last night and I was like, this is like one of the best, like I said, science fiction-y Avengers stories like ever written.
Very science fiction.
And it's so heady that it's ridiculous because like the Avengers aren't even like they're an equally big, they're an equal part of the book. The book is called Avengers. It centralizes. It's basically like a good cosmic Marvel story that has so much stuff thrown in there. And the thing about it is that it doesn't have to me, it doesn't really have a designated timeline.
Yeah.
And it kind of like it hovers in between like a lot of stuff, and it could be used as a jump on point and a jump off point. But the one thing we know is that it takes place after. I think it takes place after the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff with Tony.
Supposedly,
right?
Because sometimes they showed him with the camera face.
Right. Yeah.
When like his little thing come up and it'll be the camera. There's like the screen with Tony's face on it.
Yeah. But like he has like the space armor.
But now we're pretty lined up with everything supposedly.
Right.
Because like I think whatever happens in this origin of Tony Stark thing is like pre-assessing whatever's happening with him right now.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like an interesting thing, and the one book that kind of it doesn't really have anything to do with it is the standalone Captain America book, which is just in a completely other dimension.
Yeah.
I'm saying like timeline.
Yeah.
Like they're all like it's interesting how like the timelines of the books are kind of different.
Didn't they bring that up recently too? Like, oh yeah, I lost my son while I was over there.
I don't think he talked about it. He was just like
something terrible happened to me.
Right. So I might be off my game.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And also he's been mind wiped also on top of all this.
Right. So it's like a lot of this stuff is going to come to a point in the future, and I think it's gonna be an awesome payoff. And it just seems like Hickman's not even at any kind of crescendo. It's building and building and building. And he's throwing like the alien races in there. And do you think it's weird that Star-Lord's dad's named Jason?
Yes. Every time I read that, it's very weird up.
But it's J-Son.
It's great to see Super Skrull again.
Yes.
I wish they did a more classic costume with him, but I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but also he's in the unique position that he's, also piloting the major crossover. So whatever he's, melding right now with the Avengers is a, major part of, the Marvel mythos right now.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He's an absolute genius. And plus, like all this stuff that he's introduced, like the gardeners and the builders and all that stuff, is really good.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming at first in New Avengers because it was just like, all right, here's all the facts. Like, there's gardeners, there's builders, and there's these dudes.
Right.
Now that we've been around for almost a year with these characters, it's become really awesome. I have a weird theory about them, too.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a weird theory that this is eventually the builders are another universe's Tony and Reed.
Okay.
They're basically become the builders of all the universes, and then they're cleaning up their mess.
Okay.
Like New Avenger style.
That's kind of interesting. That's a very interesting theory. I don't have a theory per se for the overall like reveal, but I feel like this is like Hickman always wanted to write a sci-fi book, and he's like, you know what? Let me just put the Avengers in the story,
Space.
in outer space.
I really want to do a new universe book too.
Yeah, it's very like standalone-y, kind of interesting, and it sets up a lot of stuff in the future. I still love the teaming of Hyperion on Thor. This issue had your cliffhanger was what happened to Carol Danvers.
Oh, they got blasted out of space.
Right, and then
it's Carol. Isn't it? It's Carol Danvers and Hawkeye, right?
I think so.
Okay, well, she's gonna turn into binary again.
Okay, great. And Hawkeye's gonna put his mask back on.
Yes,
I hope.
I think that Hickman has done such a good job of selecting characters in the book.
Okay,
like between all your heavy hitters like your Hyperions and everything. We still have our Sunspot, Cannonball, and like the great, the like getting pre-auto Spidey and now current auto Spidey in there. And what's his name? Manifold from Secret Warriors.
Right.
Get some really cool. There's Smasher. I love the idea of the Imperial Guard now, like how they made it into like a Green Lantern Corps,
right?
Where there's like hundreds from all around the universe of different guys.
That's something that was kind of interesting that was pointed out, where it was like we just got one planet and a bunch of dudes who protect it. Like we're not scouting from anywhere because we don't really have to. But we're gonna go help them because we have a vested interest, and we always win anyway. That's like I think that's a big thing that Hickman's playing with is the fact that like the Avengers are going to win at the end of the day, but how to make it harder for them.
Oh yeah,
without like the casualties. You haven't really seen any major casualties
you always have to
in a book. You have to during a story like this, but you haven't seen one since I want to say Siege.
Yeah. Well, he said the big thing with this is going to be a big reveal. Like
Loki.
Something I think it's going to be Black Bolt. They're going to reveal something big with Black Bolt.
Okay.
And something probably a big loss.
Okay.
Captain America.
It's going to be all Loki.
All Lokis. Ultimate Warriors.
Ultimate Warriors showing. It's Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash is going to be the guy. All right, I think that's good. We'll give the next show an extra little 10 minutes to recuperate.
Elbow room.
Yeah, give you some elbow room. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of Behind the Counter. We're just going to end it. So good night, everybody.
Good night.